Episode 97 of Valheim Slow and Easy starts right now. Hi, everybody. Checking my sheet of paper there. It does say 97. I use a sheet of paper. Okay? Yeah, I said it. I said it. You want to come at me? Cancel me. Okay? I kill all the forests for my sheet of paper? No. Why did I go with the forest thing? It's more about... okay, let's get into the game. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. In the last episode, we were left wondering how to connect our sky fireplace to the floor of this new basement we've just been so busy building. And, I'm doing these angled things. And I'm still thinking I like that idea because it gives us a chance to do sort of a cool sculpture. Something that might stand out right in the middle. And if we head over here to another version of that, we have, this kind of fun design up here with this metal sculpture stuff. Let's turn some lights on here. Yeah, all right, we'll take that. Here, there's some more light over here as well. Had dinner, took a break, took a walk, as I was talking about before. A walk after a meal. The secret to longevity. So I don't know why I'm doing it. Why would I want to prolong this shit? I kid. So yeah, now we got light over there. And it has this kind of cool iron thing and this little bit of a sculpture going on, and then it actually not literally, but it connects down to this sculpture bit. Ooh, candles. Sorry, we're on a candle cleanup mission as well. The wicks don't die. We have immortal wicks in this one, kind of like the John Wick film. So, but anyway, the metal beams connect to that, and it's not all that dissimilar from. I don't know why I decided to do an artwork tour, but feeling a little bit better than before. To this bit of light that up, and I like that. It kind of creates this catch, sort of a weird. Chimney, you might almost say. Smoke management. Not sure if that's right. But that's on the side of the room, right? So that's not necessarily the right way to see it. So let's go all the way back. And the point all this is to say is I think I value more than having the sculpture something, because it's not going to be that easy to line up anyway. More than that, I'd rather have this be open. So is there a way to hold up this thing without these uprights? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. We can just connect the corners to the walls. So just kind of, like the hero holding themselves between two garages. They're shimmied, they're shimmying because they either have radioactive spider DNA in there. Youthful loins. What if that's the only place he became Spider-Man? But the rest of him just stayed Peter Parker. All right. Well, okay. Sorry. Yeah, or other, similarly physically equipped people who can wedge themselves between two vertical surfaces. All right, stop, Hank. Okay, let's keep moving in. Okay, we're recording. Yeah, I think that's just much nicer, but it's going to come along with expanding the room. As you remember, I was wondering if I should push this whole thing over, and I think the answer is a definitive yes after doing a little bit of looking around. What we'll notice is we already have a wall waiting, so all we're going to do is bump up to this wall here, which we built quite a long time ago. It's where we keep our spare flaming heads and Christmas trees. Those are Valentine's decorations for obvious reasons. So all we got to do is just dig through, remove the wall we built, and then there's a whole nother room just waiting to be carved out. It also might be kind of funny to leave this as a hallway. I don't know why funny is the right word, but it just occurs to me to maybe see what that's like in order to see what it's like. Maybe for some reason it's like how a factory has like a row of offices off on one side. Maybe there's some rationale. See, look, look, we're already there. It's basically just one big one fill-in. It's like those TikToks where people are like, "We bought this house, and we have a weird divot in the closet. What's under this rug? Oh my God, there's a trap door." And then they get consumed by a demon who's been living in the basement. What a horror presence, or premise. Huh? That's such a good one. A crazy random room. Discovered buried long ago. Perfect. It has all the elements. I was just checking to see if it's pop. Yeah, look, it is. No, is it? I don't know. It does. Something jumped out at me. Whatever. It's not jutting out, so we're good. I mean, that's basically what all horror is premised upon, is the feeling of aloneness, no help. In other words, the organizing principle for our entire economy and society. You know, you see that room down there, or the Airbnb with the locked room. That's another genre I catch. And then some people are like, they need to keep some of their stuff locked up. It's fine. It's got supplies and stuff, and I kind of understand that too. You know, you don't get to just go into any hotel's closets. Not that. I think the whole housing stuff is a mess, obviously. Not that that takes much of an opinion. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to tear down the wall. I don't see any reason not to. In other words, other than like some specific design, I might think of. This is not needed, like breeding caribou or something like that. You know, I'm sure caribou breeders need lots of side passages. So yeah, and then this is also a factor here, is that the ceiling is already laid down. We're basically underneath that kind of bisected hallway, and so like that work is already done. It makes double use of that stuff, and yeah. Sorry for crunching the ice there. I didn't mean to. I have a real hard time with people eating on mics, and I just did that. Even risking a swallow of water, but like on streams or podcasts or whatever, people, or shorter videos, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikToks, or even live in-person videos called plays that people used to go to. What's so heavy? The money? Yeah, the money weighs 100 per giant pile. Well, here, let's see. I kind of like it now. Can I put the money down? There we go. Maybe we do a corner of just loot, just kind of a castle, you know, slush pile. We kind of had that up in that corner. Or this could be like a long vault, like a cave, like this this hallway thing. But if we want a hallway, we just build a wall. What the fuck was I? I was talking about something important. Or at least I wasn't done talking. If I'm not done talking about it, then it's important. Anyway. I had sausage and eggs. I just recently bought a little bit of cheese to put on top of it. Delicious. I've worked out a very, very good way Oh, I think we're at the end here. A very nice way of microwaving sausage and eggs. I feel like I almost want to make a whole like video about it. As if I don't have enough video shit that it's already not doing. Okay, check this out. There is something appealing about having this as like a connecting tunnel to some other. Just where does it go if I keep going? I think it goes out to the front. Right? Yeah, it would probably just kick off because I don't think I dug down. Yeah. I don't know. It's fine. We'll just keep it as a room. But actually, now's some of this. Oh, okay. So the one thing I was going to mention is, yeah, we're not. The ceiling is going to be asymmetrical. So even if I did do sculpts or something, it's not in the middle of the room. Not that it requires to be perfectly aligned, but I don't know. I think it's fine. But then also that kind of gives us this space where we will need only need less metal things to hold it up. So then that'll look better. So let's quit the yapping. Let's do it from far away so you can... Oh shit. We're already losing stuff. Hang on. Hang on. Uh-oh. I guess I could build crap out of stone. Part of me does like having that rim up there, but I don't know. Will it be blue? So if we do need these load-bearing supports, and you kind of do, then I bet we can figure out a way to hide them. I kind of like that sort of challenge. All right. So now floor. Oh, I forgot I had that other giant pile of money. God, it's such a burden. It's such a burden having all these coins. Honestly, maybe the way we can control the rich people again, finally, put them back on a leash before they kill us all. Make all money has to be coins. Why shouldn't all money be coins? We could do some stuff where we're like, we'll cut off a few zeros here. So like, go back to the days when like $1 was like a lot of money. And you'd be like, oh my God, I made $5 this week. I'm rich. That was I never seen 20 whole dollars before. And that way regular people can carry around little handfuls of coins. That's more than money than they ever need. And those super wealthy have to lug around wheelbarrows. Because fuck them. They still get to be super rich, but you got to lug around like many metric tons of money. Why does money just get to be a somewhere on an SSD? It just changes and update. All right, whatever. Okay, so we'll solve all the world's problems another day. Yeah, and we got more to clear over here. There's a ceiling. Okay. Oh shit. What was... Okay. Yeah, now we want to strengthen... Although I think it's close enough to the end. But I don't want to lose... Yeah, I'd be kind of surprised. I mean, it's still orange. Oh. Oh, okay. Never mind. It took a brief bump. So what is that one? So the wall's not in the right spot. Did I double that up? Let's see if we can still... Will the stairs hold? Oh, I was wondering if I had coverage. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, getting rid of that wall. All right, good. Yeah, so this will make sense. This will be kind of cool looking, actually, when we get some food. Nope, nope. Okay. I can even probably get away with straight ones, but that looks a little bit weird, I think. We want to go 45, or like straight at it, a little bit angled. Can get a little artsy with it by adding the this rain. Here, let's see how different this one feels. Oh. I thought the 45s were already in the wall. I was like, oh yeah, that's hitting the wall. Okay. Oh shit. Fireplace down. Fuck. Okay. All right. My potion. One of my oldest concoctions. That's funny. It might be time to redo those sticks too. I don't know. We had some logs stuck in it. I was going fast, man. I knew that was a risk, but I wasn't nearly even thinking. But we still have an anchor point, even though we lost those 2 posts. But whatever. I don't care. I'm just more thinking of the preservation angle of the, So yeah, we still have the corner. Should still line up on top of that corner there. But yeah. Okay, right there. Yep. The gap around that, it's not totally perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's lined up to the grid. Because this thing should be equal to this gap here. But nothing snaps like that unless you do like a angled geometry thing, which I'm not even sure the exact how to do it perfectly. So I think it's fine. Let's just keep it as it is, right? Well, I can't believe I just taking the wrong things down like a freaking moron. Okay. I mean, hell, I could even just do one. Is that connected to? It's kind of a... Yeah, it doesn't really... It's like 3... So the middle, I can't get a snap in the middle. How about we just eyeball? So we'll do it right at the bottom of the snap. They're all down here. Does that transfer strength? Yeah. Blue, green. Yeah, that worked. I mean, it was already holding, but I just realized how weak that was. Yeah, so still don't have any. Okay. See where the thing goes from vertical, that yellow box thing. I'm just trying to like nail that. Good enough. Let's check. I didn't check to do that before over here, so let's see. Okay. Now I can go straight. Man, come on. We need metal. Money. Precious gold and worthless seeds. Gross. Seeds? Ew, get them away. In September of 2026, an unknown YouTuber went viral for his screed against seeds. The world setting off a chain of events that would result in the world abandoning seeds, dooming humanity to immediate extinction. This season on Black Mirror. Black Mirror. Feels like I gotta say it as a British person. All right, let's one of my favorite sort of narrative constructs, I guess you might say. We're gonna need a lot more of this black metal, guys. I think we might end up on a boat today. Let's check our black metal supply. I know I have a couple of stashes, but oh shit, wrong way. As the unintended consequences. Like the character has some sort of plan. Maybe it's a scheme. It's got to be kind of interesting, usually. Reflective of some sort of character trait that might come back to bite them at the end or something like that. And it does not always have to be the same. Although I do sort of like the hubris and narcissism of a person trying to be known for what they say on the internet, or the same impulse that drove a person to do stand-up comedy. Same impulse that almost drives most creative people, I'd say, or people who want their creative output to receive attention and praise, plaudits. Hell, you got to accept that there'll be criticism. So like stand-up is such a raw, visceral form of that compared to like writing a book. You get a reaction a lot faster from the audience than writing a book. This fucking storms are driving me nuts. I might have to look up the thing, how to God mode the storms off, because they're so annoying. Actually, I think I can... Oh, that's a lot. So what else is on? Effect volume. Is it just... So we have music and effects, I'm guessing, here. So volume is just the master slider. It's not like other sounds. All right. We'll drown it out with music. I don't know. I always assumed effect was like there's volume that makes some of the noise, and then there's effects, and then like music. And I thought volume might mean clicking noises on boxes and menus. What did I just do? Oh, I didn't accept it. Come on, hit us with some music, man. Going light on the effects, 35 on the volume. Okay. Boy, this is exciting. In December of 2026, an unknown YouTuber spent an overly long amount of time deciding on his audio settings for a little watched award-winning series. God damn, that music is fucking loud. Jesus, who can concentrate with this shit going? Oh God, no, it's just worse. It's the storm makes it worse. I can't. The data. I think astronomy metaphors work really well for autistic brains and people with sensory processing issues, and like the telescope is just it's just a bucket. It literally is a photon bucket with a sensor in various ways of directing its captured photons into a photography device, such as a computer/camera. All right. Did I not grab the shit? What am I doing? I'm just rambling here. Okay. So let's get like 10 of these. And they have to be... see, that doesn't... I don't like how... It's the same price to do it that way. Actually, that looks kind of cool, too. And so astronomy telescopes can be tuned to specific frequencies. Oh, see, now I don't have the same symmetry options. But how about... I think we'll get the same effect if we just... You gotta go. You gots to go. And an autistic brain, or my head picks up so much sound. Like it doesn't narrow down the frequency to the relevant band of the EM, the electromagnetic spectrum. It just kind of, not to say it's literally all everything, because it's actually the entirety of the universe itself. There we go. Now it's coming down. We do that, and then we can go... I mean, it's already buried in there. But I want to cut out the... I'm keeping that ceiling. I'm just not keeping this one. I don't know. For some reason, it's not. That's fine. Gotta hold shift. I mean, a telescope is basically just a sensitive camera tuned to a specific type of electromagnetic radiation. And if it's not, I've lost this metaphor. I've thought about this one for years, though, so it's not. But it's basically the second stage of astronomy is generally computer processing. There's a lot of data produced that has to be processed through algorithms and sophisticated software. And there's also a side of astronomy that doesn't even use telescopes. They just do fancy modeling based on science, based on observational stuff. And that's also very relevant. So I had a blob trophy somewhere. Oh, shit, up here. Yeah, we weren't really careful about. I had been meaning to get rid of this thing, too. Let's light some candles, huh? Oh, we also take out these. Get those wicks back. Like, that's the most unrealistic thing I find about this game. Yeah, the game's fine, but the fucking candles physics isn't real. Ruins it. Queen's Jam. That's where I have her ashes. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody is a funny way to end the sentence. That's where I have her ashes. Shh, keep it secret. Don't tell the museum. Yeah, why not? Have some boar meat. And so the second stage of astronomy is processing. So, like, aside from the input, which is probably the same, it's not like different photons show up to my ears, or, you know what I mean, sound waves / photons show up to other people's, but it's all kind of gets received, and then it has to be processed through, and it's just a deeper kind of processing that happens. And the world is a very acute place when your mind is like a ball that takes it in. So it's so like that's where situations with over too much noise, too much light becomes overwhelming, because your ability to hold your thoughts in cohesively dips out. One of my metaphors, I think this is a metaphor, is like if you're reading a book, just imagine looking at a piece of paper with some words on it, a bunch of words, like a novel. And you're not confused, you're understanding what you're looking at. And then suddenly 40% of the words disappear. They just go away. You can't really see what they are. Now, obviously, you could be like, oh my God, magic, supernatural. Clearly, that's not what I mean. But like suddenly you're just like lost. You're just like, wait a minute. What the and you kind of know what's happening, but you also sort of, we're in the middle of something else. And so that derails that thing you were thinking about, whatever it was you're reading or focusing on here. What am I doing here? Trying to just put stuff away. Yeah, let's take that one rock. And then you can catch it quickly, recover it. That takes energy. Or you have to kind of muscle it up. That's sort of when I say wrestling my head tigers. That's a lot of what I'm doing, is just sort of like trying to keep the attention tunnel intact, because the words are gone. And then you can kind of pull them back. You can kind of fight it a little bit. And so that's what I think masking when you are younger is, but it burns you out. It's a very energy intensive thing, on top of the already kind of high processing of that research has shown. Although God knows there's always some sort of small or some sort of detail in the methodology that can make research maybe less reliable. So who knows? But that autistic brains tend to at their default mode network, which is there's the resting, like the kind of just relaxed, not doing much with your brain, versus surgery, performing it, or sports match, or even a video game, writing for sure, taking a test. It's why it's exhausting to take a test for an hour than to just sit there for an hour. I mean, boredom can also be exhausting too, because we all have to have shit in our heads all the time. What am I even trying to say? What was I doing? Oh yeah, so there's research that shows that it's up to 42% more activity at default rest. I would probably, and it's because I can't argue with someone else and be like, no, my brain works harder. But I can kind of, I've observed the world pretty close, thanks to the hypervigilance I developed as a young kid. That, you know, people aren't thinking about shit as much as I do. Some people, yeah, sure. But, you know. Then there's also areas where it's just like, I don't think. to miss things. All right, let's see if it holds. I actually didn't really test that slowly, did I? I just sort of went for it, hoping that these greens connecting to yellow. And so, yeah, this is... I don't like how... Just see what happens if I... All right, we're just going to do it this way. I just don't want it jutting out. Or is that underground? And it probably doesn't matter. But who cares? This will look cool. I'll say. Nicely timed music. So that's a... Is that the same shade of yellow? Okay. Now here's another thing, though, is these things. How important are... So maybe we can just kind of fill it up with a bunch of these. These might be visible on the other side. Which might even look kind of cool because they'll be flush with the wall. All right. Very quickly goes red. I'm taking a risk here. I'm already hearing things fall. Does that strengthen us? Stuff is breaking up above. So maybe this whole wall, yeah. We need to get some metal to stop this wall, to be honest. Because this is supporting the entire base. Like we are now in our structural... Yeah, shit is breaking. Stuff is breaking up above. I think we need metal. I think we need to... Since that's touching blue... See how it's on. So what does that sensitivity drive of a telescope metaphor? Your brain, you can't filter out as much light as, say, a neurotypical brain can, or seems to do. And not that there aren't exceptions to all this stuff, too. That's why this stuff is kind of tricky to talk about, because it's limited inherently by the inaccuracy of language. Very clear communication is still somewhat inaccurate, in a sense. It's always going to be an approximation. All right. Why did I just do that? What am I even doing? I've got all this money on me. Okay. So we have some damage up there that we have to go inspect. We're rushing is what's the problem here. So, all right, let's, all right. Who's had enough of the music? This probably makes the videos easier to watch. There we go. The only music I need is little birdies. So the effect of having that sensitivity is, and as well as the sort of social dysregulation that's inherent, generally. Like, as I like to say, I have social skills, but I don't have socializing skills. I struggle with the part where lasting bonds are formed, even though I really want to. And I have the people who have been connected to over my time were not all of them. I'm talking about women I've dated and some close friends too, but I don't have very many. But we're usually almost certainly somewhere on the spectrum themselves. Looking back, not all of them though, but a lot of bad downstream effects from people who struggle with social cues and boundaries and stuff. Among the reasons why I like doing stand-up comedy was like, oh my God, that's like, I'm autistic, I'm free, but that was still 10 years away from even learning what autism was. But it felt, not that I failed a lot. I tried hard, meaning it wasn't just like, it just took effort. I mean, it let me unmask, I guess, to feel a little bit more released of the inauthentic conformity I had been engaging in order to obscure and manage the outward effects of autistic personality, as well as or profile, it's a better word than personality, as well as the inward sort of energy switchboard and emotional systems. Okay. And you're rewarded for the creativity and the thinking and the wordplay and the being a kind of a attention-seeking nut. You know, got to have that for sure. Oh fuck! I threw my wick into the wall. Oh no! Get back here. Why is it not? Auto pickup's on. Help! Siri! Siri! There it is, candle wick. What if the whole building just came down? I removed the keystone in the middle of the transom. Okay. All right, so here. Where do we have? Everything at the bottom is blue. Nope, that's blue because it's getting support from the ground somewhere around here. And then everything up through here is green. How's this? That's very red. I'm just going to go with... Doesn't make sense. No. I know it's costlier to do two, but it's something kind of nice about that. That'll put a lot of green into those. Oh, damn it. So what people do, and keep trying to say, is they retreat. They make their world small. They do things that feel safe. And that consumes their interests too. So that's part of the hyper focus and the special interest and the fixation, the obsessive kind of quality. Which I actually think can be a very good thing in a world where we cared for people. We would understand our autistic brothers and sisters don't need to work regular jobs. They just get to be very good neighbors. And not all of them will do this, but a good amount will just cook, make cool fucking shit. Because the cycles of that obsessiveness are so healthy and good for society. And if you could channel that energy, and it's might at surface seem unfair. And I'm not saying non-autistic people should work, autistic people should not work. I'm saying that the contributions of autistic people, some people fit in with the work schedules and great, that's no problem. But like, if I didn't have to stress about money and I could just live a really simple, easy life, not looking for anything luxurious, just food, safety, I can buy enough fans to keep me cool in the summer, maybe afford some movie subscription, nothing, it doesn't have to be poverty, but I would just be so productive because I don't really like sitting still doing nothing. Anyway, there's a more of a philosophical angle to what I'm talking about there. So as far as that fits into that metaphor of the antenna, the thing that since we can't like turn a knob that says antenna off, and it's really hard to sort of turn another knob that says process less, turn your brain down. And you're not totally, this is part of the tiger wrestling. You can kind of steer away from rumination and you can meditate. I mean, not that it works. It's found some autistic people find meditation agonizing. I've actually found some nice results from it. I don't do it anywhere nearly enough. Sadly, I wish I did. But no, not trying to say that these things are applicable to everybody. Obviously, I hope that's clear. I'm just saying that even with the small brake pads, braking devices we might have access to, it's still exhausting and it's a lot. And there are so one of the ways we deal with that is avoiding the stimulus, avoiding the inputs, using headphones. That's why that's kind of a common thing, especially for the noise sensitive people, myself included, although I don't really do the headphones in public. I do them at home almost constantly, and I use earbuds out in the world. I don't like doing both though. I only do one, and I almost always have a podcast or something playing. All right, let me see how strong we're doing here in the wall. I want to see. So this is holding up stuff. So the metaphor is if like we can't turn down the antenna, we can't turn down the processing, but we have this huge tarp. We can block it. Light doesn't go through everything. It'll bounce off the tarp, not reach the collecting dish. It bounces it to the secondary mirror and then to another, whatever. We can throw the tarp over the antenna. That's what it means for an autistic person who needs to have alone time, to decompress, to just be away from the inputs. Even someone they love and care about, even someone whose presence might be regulating and calming. That's also healthy to have that and have healthy communication about where that need and mutual, I'm talking about a healthy relationship. But throwing that tarp over the radio telescope or the light telescope or the infrared telescope or the ultraviolet telescope or the X-ray, gamma ray, whatever, blocks the light. And you need alone. That's why, that's the alone time. That's the sunglasses people have. I have one of my, this is one of them. These are like jogging bicycle hats that are foldable, but they have like a long brim. And I saw them one day and I just bought one of them. And I like the long brim a lot. It helps me with stuff up above and it just cuts some of the input out of my eyes. I've always worn hats. Anyway, all right. I'll stop rambling about that. I just had to get to the part about the tarp. That's all that was. Dude, I like this. I don't like that these beams aren't symmetrical. In other words, like I'd rather put one centered. I place them every two in order to kind of give us a lineup with that, but I think I'd rather have one centered because it's not. See how that lines up? And then this fucking one is driving me nuts over here. All right, let me get rid of it. I do kind of like some. But I'm going to stack these up. Like this is going to be a bit of a vertical room project type thing. Okay. Got a lot of stone. Yeah, so you see how we have that 2 is lined up. It doesn't line up on this end. Now that I have no stone. It's off by... I was going to build that. It's a nice room. It actually kind of works as it is. Instead of taking out all this stuff. But we're going to end up probably getting rid of that stuff eventually. Yeah, so you see how it... We're going to kill off this thing. See how that's not perfectly aligned? It's off by a thickness of 1. So how do you fix that? You have to kind of... We can align it to... right here. Which means we have to move the metal over by 1. Depending on whether it's jutting up above. Oh shit. Gotta be quick here. Fuck, I don't have the... No. Oh, god damn it. That was bad. I think all the metal went up. There's going to be a bunch of stuff busted up above. Okay. Oh, I did it the wrong spot. Why did I take it out? I should have left it up. So dumb. And now I can like, you know, get symmetry off of this middle. See, yeah, the metal's up there. Son of a gun. Son of a dang gun. No, it's not. I just don't have wood. Not carry too much. Ba-ting. Yeah. All right. As we close for today, thanks for listening to my rambling. Sorry, it was kind of disjointed. There's actually much more to that thought. And I've thought of it. I have thought it much more articulately in the past. Why do I keep getting the wick? Yeah, watch. Let's see how much damage is up here now. Might be all the way. Oh, this whole ceiling came down. Okay. Yeah, watch. It'll be this walkway. That's why we're losing these blobs. Did we lose roof up here? At least we didn't... as long as we didn't lose roof up in there. Like all the way up there. Okay, a little bit. So it's transferring... Yeah. I think what I need to do is finally fix this. I've gotten so used to this post being in the middle. So basically the answer here, I think, is to either throw down some black marble. I think that stuff has better strength. And or just like load up the steel uprights around here to also help with this part. So, well, we'll get there in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure. I hope you're all doing well, and we will see you in episode 98. Bye.